The package labeled the Big Beautiful Bill by President Donald Trump includes deep cuts to Medicaid, which provides health insurance for lower income and disabled people.
Yeah.
The Congressional Budget Office, CBO, estimates that a total of 10.9 million people will lose health insurance by 2034 if the current bill becomes law and Congress allows cuts to Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act marketplace to go through. An additional 5.1 million people will lose coverage because the bill fails to extend tax credits for ACA marketplace plans, and Health and Human Services has proposed new rules limited the program's enrollment periods and making other changes, bringing the total to 16 million.
Wow.
This is another excerpt from a news source on Warnock. While labeling as work requirements, they would be more correctly called work reporting requirements because they involve so many rules, forms, and other red tape that they can prevent working Americans from accessing coverage, according to Warnock. These work reporting requirements are not incentivizing work. There's no evidence of that, Warnock said in an interview with CNBC.com. And the interesting thing with this is when I read the Big Beautiful Bill in the Medicaid, like the Medicare section, it was talking about specifically like the label was like incentivizing or like people who want Medicaid need to be accountable. It was like self-accountability or something like that.
You need to get a job. You need to be able to report all these bullshit forms they're handing you.
Yeah, and it was like they do the typical thing where it's like you need to work 80 hours a month. If you can't work 80 hours a month, you need to do 80 hours of community service or 80 hours of some other kind of thing, but you can divvy it up. So you could do like 20 hours of, actual work, 20 hours of community service, and then I forgot what the third thing was, but
yo, this is some Reagan ass shit.
Well, yeah,
bro.
yeah, they're definitely trying to like
the welfare queens, the freeloaders, the loafers.
Yeah, and I don't get the how you're gonna really like that's creating a little bit more bureaucracy or a lot of bureaucracy because it's like how are you gonna jump through all these hoops to get people access to Medicaid? A lot of states, and if you want to defund it, states are gonna have to like keep up and try to have like ways to accommodate for the cuts.
Yeah.
And with that, it's like the CBO like put like 5 options out on like how states would respond, and like a lot of them are just like putting a lot of like tension and a lot of like work on the states that they probably won't even try to. They won't have the capability to really go forward. And there's a few of these here, but I'll touch on it a little later if you have something you want to.
So the bill is it's estimated to increase the national debt by $3.1 trillion and over $5 trillion over the next decade if provisions are made permanent rather than phasing out. So it's austerity, but it's not helping the deficit, which I think that's why Elon was mad. And yeah, it's just austerity, and we know like anything that involves like paperwork and all that shit, it like disproportionately affects poor people who like don't have the time, resources, or know how to like navigate that shit to get access to their benefits. So it's kind of crazy. It's like the U.S. already has the worst healthcare system in the developed world, and it's like they're trying to make that shit even worse. So it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
here?
it's gonna get hard to like. I think like putting pressure on the states is a very poor way to like. All these cuts are just gonna affect like every program that's getting cut is gonna like create some sort of like harder pathways for whatever kind of program that anyone was participating in, like from agriculture to like Medicare to like I'm sure I guess transportation or whatever the cuts are is going to ultimately like lead to severe gaps.
They're like SNAP and then tax and then even more tax cuts for higher income households. So it's just they're trying to redistribute wealth upwards at a more extreme rate, and And so inflation's gonna rise because this is gonna like increase the national debt. So it's gonna put up so a higher debt and deficits will put noticeable upward pressure on both inflation and interest rates in the coming years, which is the last thing the American
Yeah, yeah, right. When there's a recession incoming, there's like, fuck.
No, there's already the
Yeah.
silent recession because
Yeah.
with the Fed like they skew the statistics and stuff because at this point it's just a bad sign of confidence. Like everyone already thinks the empire is teetering, collapse, already drawing mad Rome comparisons. Like in the
Yeah.
draft, you don't want to be getting late stage Rome comparisons. So if they declare a recession, that's just gonna even sink more faith in the dollar. So I feel like at this point, would they ever declare a recession again, the U.S.?
Yeah, I guess they don't.
I feel like they can't at this stage.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to rely on like. Yeah, you can't claim a recession. You're just gonna have to like, and also
Keep
like
manipulating
stocks
the
are
data.
like, how Trump has been like kind of navigating the stock market and how he's kind of like pumping and dumping the stock
Yeah.
market.
Hmm.
I feel like it's a poor indicator of a recession. So isn't that like their how they if it's like down a certain amount of points for a certain amount of quarters, that's how you indicate it's a recession?
Yeah, I guess it is based off the stock market, but the stock market has become like so
Yeah.
divorced from reality and increasingly so. Like
Yeah.
the recession indicators should be like the real economy, like the day to day, and it seems like everyone like pretty much agrees like there's a recession going on. But yeah, that I feel like the U.S. at this stage, like moving forward as tension rises around the world and stuff, and the dollar continues to lose momentum
Yeah.
as per MF Doom. Then we got like bricks and stuff. So at this stage, it would be so disadvantageous to declare a recession that they just wouldn't.
Mm.
But yeah. So and then here I have a quote here. So the combination of cuts to key safety net programs like Medicaid and SNAP and tax cuts disproportionately benefiting higher income households means that the House budget constitutes an extremely large upward redistribution of income. So, yeah, they're just trying to make a bad situation even worse, and there's no one that benefits except the rich of this country.
Yeah, it is pretty ass. And also because they're like targeting groups.
Yeah.
Like the whole like at least like back on the Medicaid subject, like targeting gender affirming care and like abortion.
Yeah.
Like also like the work require like how are you gonna have like crazy work requirements and then like purposely trying to get like low income adults like not more stricter eligibility checks and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
feel like what is the goal? Because the goal is not like
Reducing the
yeah.
deficit.
There's no like population incentive. Like what I can't find anywhere where it's like there's like an incentive towards certain groups of people that have like
For this bill.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, unless it's like there are like the tax breaks kind of thing, which would like make
It's
the rich
yeah.
richer.
Yeah.
But I think also if you make over 50K a year, you might get like $800. But I feel like money, like a tax credit or a tax break, it's like the smallest amount of like, it's not even infrastructure. It's not like true things that can be
Yeah.
like materialistic that can help you in any way if you're relying on like
Mm-hmm.
$800 tax credit.
So the bill, as passed by the House in May, would raise after-tax incomes for the highest earning 10% of American households on average by 2.3% a year over the next decade, while lowering incomes for the poorest tenth by 3.9%.
Which is crazy because I don't believe poor people should pay taxes.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, you don't like they're not contributing to society in a meaningful way to like I feel like
Or
wouldn't
they
make
should
sense
pay
to me.
like, there should be like just a more fair distribution, or like they should pay much less taxes.
But aren't they already paying taxes on their goods that they buy?
Yeah.
So I feel like that in itself, it's like if you're making under 40K, like you're already well. Then okay, then you'd have to like look for ways to increase like minimum pay to ensure.
Yeah. So yeah, that would entail like deeper structural change. That's like a whole different system, I feel like. But yeah, like at the very least, they should not be making
Yeah.
the separation.
They could have kept it how it was.
No, it was already bad, the tax cut that Trump did in 2017. Like he did a huge tax cut for the rich back then, and he's trying to make it even more extreme now. So it's like no rest for the weary, huh?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Is that why I'm still somehow paying taxes? I'm
I
not
mean,
getting refunds, dude. I
bro, me
remember
neither.
when I was like,
that's
oh,
probably it, honestly.
dang, that's crazy.
Sheesh.
Moral of the story, um,
He wants shit to get worse for you.
yeah, unless you're a millionaire, it's probably not gonna be a good time.
Yeah. And then what does his base have to say? What about all the poor MAGA, the Appalachian Trail people, the rural Hicks hillbillies?
Mm, yeah, I'm sure there's kind of a
They're all,
lot of like mental gymnastics and a lot of like avoidance and like critical thinking
if
that.
they're not already out on him. I have a hard time believing that there's a significant contingent that's still in on him, cuz like it's pretty like what.
That parade, I mean, it showed a lot of people were in on him.
But then wasn't the attendance poor though? It was like
Whatever I saw when I was looking at it, it looked like packed. But maybe that was they were only showing like a dense part of it.
so here, let's so okay, so um the the Donald Trump's director of communications said that over 250,000 patriots showed up.
250,000.
Yeah, and then everyone doubts these claims. So people are calling it false. Okay, and then the highest reasonable total is only 10 to 20K attending, which sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, you can't get like.
Look at this.
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
Hey, y'all cannot see that, but
But the yeah, I mean the propaganda is so effective. Like the whole like even going back to like the one big beautiful bill. Like of course you're going to name a bill like that. You're going to have like that fascist like
yeah,
big, strong, like amazing.
yeah, exactly.
You're going to have
Incredible.
this military thing and you're going to just like praise the military prowess and you're going to, everything is just like a brand and
Yeah.
insignia of power, of strength, of blood, red.
Yeah. And it's just a bunch of bullshit. The big bullshit bill is what it really should be called.
The one big bullshit bill.
Yeah, and then the parade, that's obviously just fascist. It's fascist undertones, overtones as it gets. And yeah, so here like so and then there was an open letter from 6 Nobel laureate economists, and they all said so. MIT, 3 MIT economists, 1 Harvard economist, 1 Columbia, and then 1 University of New York, and they said that was where I got my quotes from, and they said the Senate. Their last word is the Senate should refuse to pass this bill and start over from scratch on the budget. Harsh words.
Yeah, I did open the Excel sheet on the budget. Like, what it was going over, and the, I mean,
Wow. Bro, Medicaid also covers 41% of all births in the United States, including over 50% of all births in Louisiana, Mississippi, New Mexico, and Oklahoma. What the fuck are these people trying to do?
you're getting in debt to have a child, which it seems counterintuitive of like the whole like you want to have like more children in the nation. You want to
The whole
like that's the
conservative.
whole anti-abortion
Yeah.
thing is to like bring new life in because you're an aging population, which regardless population is going to decline in like the fourth or fifth stages of economic development when it comes to countries. I mean,
Yeah.
access to birth control, just knowledge, education, like all those factors are
Yeah.
going to lead to a birth decline in an aging population.
Yeah.
No matter the kind of culture around it.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of civilization and progression. But that stuff, like repealing Medicare, is like you're just gonna have like messed up children. Like they might even survive, but like the
Families
like
crippled
you're
by
just
debt.
like everyone's just gonna have debt. Yeah, everyone's gonna have debt, and like would do doctors knowing that like people can't pay for this, will they like I'm wondering if there's a statistic on if they know that the bills won't get paid because like they're in an area where everything's going to like collections basically.
Yeah.
If they're less likely to do a better job in the ward
You
or in
think
the
that's
hospital, or
yeah,
like
that's
I
something
mean
to
that's
look
obviously
up.
speculation, but
Yeah.
like I'm interested to see because like they're guaranteed getting paid with Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
So or Medicaid or you said Medicare's for births?
It's a Medicaid.
Medicaid, yeah. Sometimes I get confused on the which is for which because
me
one
too.
is for the aging population. I think Medicare is for 65 and over,
Yeah.
and then Medicaid is general, I believe.
Mm-hmm. I think so. According to these this open letter, the most acute and immediate damage stemming from the bill would be felt by millions of Americans losing key safety net protections like Medicaid and SNAP. So it's like he keeps coming after SNAP. And then the Medicaid cuts constitute a sad step backwards in the nation's commitment to providing access to health care for all. Proponents of the House bill often claim that these Medicaid cuts can be achieved simply by imposing work reporting requirements on healthy working age adults, but they are not, by definition, heavy consumers of health spending. So, yeah, exactly, because it's going to be the old people that are going to have trouble, like, doing reporting stuff.
Yeah.
And, not heavy consumers of health spending. So achieving the budgeted Medicaid cuts will obviously harm others as well. So this bill is just like it's just your worst nightmare.
It's trying to make an unhealthy population.
Yeah.
And like these are the states like possible solutions. Like the states could respond in like these four ways. Spend more themselves on Medicaid, mainly using a mix of revenue increases and reduced spending on other programs for financing.
Yikes.
Reduce payment rates to healthcare providers, which may affect
The
the
quality
quality of
service, yeah.
healthcare. Limit the scope or amount of optional benefits, and reduce enrollment in Medicaid in general. Which they're all these possible solutions. This is from the CBO.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know how
Putting
how
the
states
burden
would-
on states more.
Yeah, and like if you put the burden on states, like people in Texas and Florida are gonna suffer because they don't want to like build the infrastructure out or to accommodate for this. They can just be like, well, we can't afford that, and then it is what it is, and then like there's nothing else to move forward with.
So one of my questions is, what makes Trump insane enough to call this the big beautiful bill? Like what like what is it? Who is it beautiful for? Because if it's gonna, people estimate that it's gonna lead to 51,000 preventable deaths each year. It's like if that's beautiful, like you're a psychopath.
Yeah, it's almost like none of that, the narrative, the ideology matters more than
And the
the actual thing that's
projected
happened. It's
effects.
like, yeah, everything's ideologue. It's not real, and that's the issue with like, it's like the anti-intellectual crusade where
Yeah.
it's like evangelical Christians kind of are getting this power, and then it becomes like this whole thing where it's like the ideology is so strong that like their virtue and their will to
Hmm.
like subvert truth in order for their own like ideology of truth
Yeah.
is so fundamental to their cognitive development, where
Yeah.
it just makes sense to not follow the truth or follow like science or follow any of that,
Yeah.
because ultimately they can live their lives without needing to critically think or read an academic paper, because they're allowed in America to live in
Hmm.
their own kind of like
Bubble. Yeah.
relativist own kind of, well, it's like dualism in a way between like
I
the
don't know how you define dualism in this context.
there's a I'll actually have to, I wrote notes on this actually, I might be writing it wrong.
But yeah, these people, this current regime, they're just so willing to ignore reality projections by knowledgeable sources, and they just want to double down on their austerity that's not helping anyone, not even the country and their deficit.
Yeah, I mean, what is the what is the way out?
The way out is
Vote no.
uh
Vote no to the big beautiful bill.
okay, so I don't think we so real quick, we could talk about the 51,000 deaths, cuz I don't think we talked to that. So for y'all that don't know,
Reductive dualism.
mm,
Uh, Sorry to cut you off.
no, you can go
It's
ahead.
the issues of the actual world are hence transformed into a spiritual Armageddon, an ultimate reality in which any reference to day to day actualities has the character of an allegorical illustration. This reductive
Uh,
dualism, universal and not exclusively American, profoundly damages the conduct of diplomacy and erodes the status of common scientific knowledge, among
right,
other things,
right.
which is pulled from Hofstadter's anti intellectualism in American life.
Okay, here, let me see that definition. It's this one right here,
Um,
the bottom one.
I think it's right there.
Okay. The, the actual word, spiritual Armageddon, and ultimate. Yeah, this is what they're doing. I feel like I see a lot of like this. The issues of the actual world are hence transformed into a spiritual Armageddon, an ultimate reality, in which any reference to day to day actualities has the character of an allegorical illustration.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So like the real world, like almost like facts are the antidotes.
Mm. To this
To
reductive dualism.
yeah, to their, because it's like, you know how in like scientific literature, like antidotes are only like, they're not reliable,
Yeah.
but the facts to them are the antidotes, and their ideological framework is the research.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like anything like
Yeah, they're yeah.
vaccines, like vaccine research, well, it's an antidote because this team of scientists
Hmm.
did this one thing proving this thing, but it's like to them it's like,
We
so
can't trust the
it's like
scientists.
a third, yeah, like whatever, it's like it's a tertiary source, and
Some
then
far off,
yeah,
far flung.
and your pastor is your research. You're
Oh,
like
okay.
your real, the fact of the matter.
Yeah. And you can see this with everything, like when it comes to vaccines, global warming, like
Yeah.
policy. they just continually ignore, like, just head in the sand, full ostrich mode, like, just doubling down on their delusion. These are the most delusional people in the world right now. Like, we talk about Gen Z's delusional, whatever. People say women are delusional. These are the final boss
Yeah.
delusion,
And
delusional
they get
dickheads.
rewarded for their delusion, so it's like, what's the, if there's no consequence for their thought process or their thinking, just, and a lot of them say these things and make a lot of money just because they have these opinions.
Cause delusion is like, it's like satisfying in the moment. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like that, like the fascism. They just get like high on their own supply. Like they sniff their own farts. Like the whole Hitler speech. Like, you know, he
Yeah.
was like all this grandiose, like puffing yourselves up, like feeling they're on top of the world.
Yeah.
They're about to like shift the direction of mankind, and it's like it's only when it's absolutely unsustainable, when it crashes into reality, when it all falls down. But we don't want to get to the point where the U.S. runs into a wall and like complete havoc descends, because like the system is more complex, more large. It's gonna hurt more people around the world.
Yeah.
So this delusion, like, it needs to stop. It needs to stop.
Yeah, it's almost like, that's like the whole issue with incremental change is like it's like a clog, and there's like a lock on it, but it can only turn clockwise. It
Yeah.
can never, like, once it goes past a spoke, it locks.
The ratchet effect.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it's like there's no, like, we'll just continue to like trudge forward, and then there's no, like, there's never any real policy or any true reform that kind of like gets America out of the hole that they've dug themselves in. And
Yeah. And the thing is, just like how large the system is, it's like momentum is just such a like bad factor, because it's like now that we've gotten started on this course, in order to reverse like all the like the mass psychosis of the people who believe this stuff, and then to like uproot this like this fascist element from the government, and like from the people that are set to take over.
Yeah.
It's like it's nigh impossible. Like it would take like, it seems like that's why, like, part of the reason like it's like we need like socialism, like a bold, like clear, like declaring it as socialism, because it's like the Democrats, like the soft right, it's like they don't have the answers, so people just keep doubling down on this. And I wonder what's gonna be like when it becomes untenable for them, because I feel like with these protests this past weekend, it seems like it's reaching critical mass where people think this is untenable. I don't know about Trump's base, but it seems like America has agreed, like this ain't what we signed up for. Like they don't have the answers after all. Like, but it's like too late, and that's another thing. It's like the office is not responsive to change, because you can't vote on policy. You voted on Donald Trump's ramblings and rants, and then you get Project 2025, and then you can't do it. It's like you're on the ride like 4 years, then we can reassess.
I feel like there's no like I feel like those same people still vote for Trump, wanting it to be. I know that they can't vote for Trump again because he can't run, but like, I wouldn't be surprised if his son ran in the Trump name. It's all about branding. But
Yeah.
regardless, I wouldn't put it past them to vote again for this again, because like the
Really?
self-awareness is just like in the gutter. They would, like, there's so
Yeah.
many people that would vote for this again. There's so many people. I mean, I don't know if I'm talking to Russian bots on TikTok or who I'm talking to, but
You run into like actual like people that are like MAGA, Team MAGA.
yeah, constantly, bro. Like I mean, anyone like, and this is for anything. Like the dude I talked to who's like Christianity is a fact, like is reality. There's
Uh-huh.
no like way to. There's no other possible thing.
Was he MAGA?
No, but I'm saying
Okay.
like the type of
Oh
person
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
right.
And then like I'll run into like MAGA like lives
Mhm.
and like people are like prove me wrong. Trump is great for this country. Even whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
Um, and I think people will vote for that time and time again because until they're affected in a way where it like truly affects their autonomy, they're gonna think it's in their interest.
So they're
I
just gonna like double down to
Well,
infinity
yeah, I
and
mean,
beyond.
basically we're in the plot of
Uh,
Idiocracy, the movie.
I have not seen that movie yet. I gotta watch it. It
Yeah, it's
comes up
not.
too
Yeah,
often.
it's not too far off.
But yeah, so a team of health experts at Yale University and University of Pennsylvania warned that funding cuts, including the budget reconciliation package narrowly passed by House Republicans last month, would lead to 51,000 more people dying across the United States each year. Just like that's their educated prediction that just 51,000 more people per
I
year.
wonder how Trump spins that and like is like,
He doesn't.
well,
He would never address.
oh yeah,
Or
yeah.
he'd just say the leftist. It's a hoax, lie, conspiracy.
The
It's made
Democrats
up.
killed them. They're like the deep state is finding those
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
51,000,
yeah.
and or they could possibly already be dead and just be social security numbers collecting money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the estimate of 51,000 preventable deaths is based on details from a previous analysis from CBO, which initially found that 13.7 million people would lose their health care coverage by 24. Since CBO has now revised that estimate to be higher in response to queries from Democrats, the estimates of 51,000 deaths could, in fact, be an undercount. Not what you want to hear.
Oh my god.
Okay.
What is the
So so here. So the legislation would also repeal federal safe staffing standards that
What?
require nursing homes and lawn care facilities to maintain a minimum ratio of nurses to patients in order to provide care. So they're like, oh yeah, we like just loaded up with old people. You don't need as many nurses as yo. It's gonna be havoc in them old people homes, bro. What?
Yeah,
So
it's gonna lead to a lot of abuse, I'm sure.
exactly. So which based on that, the researchers estimate would result in 13,000 additional deaths annually. Yikes.
This is a public health crisis in the making.
Yeah. It's like they're trying to initiate a crisis. In other words, when you throw 13.7 million Americans off the health care they have, when you increase the cost of prescription drugs for low income seniors, and when you make nursing homes throughout America less safe, not only will some of the most vulnerable people throughout our country suffer, but tens of thousands will die. That's a quote from Bernie Sanders. And yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Damn.
Yeah, apocalyptic ass bill. What?
Yeah, what is the uh,
What's the upside, you ask?
yeah, what's the
So,
upside?
even with those cuts to critical healthcare programs, the budget package is projected to increase the national debt by 3.1 trillion over the next decade. So it's like, what are we paying for here? It's just
Yeah, what are we paying for, honestly?
like what how if we're
How is it
saving
three
money
point
in
one
this.
trillion dollars? Yeah, if they're cutting $800 billion to Medicaid,
Yeah.
what are they paying for?
Tax cuts for the rich.
But I maybe I'm a little dumb, but I don't. I hear that like they're like the debt goes to like paying for tax cuts, but like how does that work? How does
So it's like if you're saving money, like when if you like cut down Medicaid and shit, you'll have more money to allocate to paying off the debt. That's the
Yeah,
concept.
but if you're raising the debt, how would you
Yes.
create tax cuts?
So it's not like it doesn't do the point of austerity, which is to control the deficit, curb inflation. So these steep cuts. This is a quote from more economists. These steep cuts to the social safety net are being undertaken to defray the staggering cost of the tax cuts included in the House bill, including the hidden cost of preserving the large corporate income tax cut that passed in the 2017 law. So they're trying to like keep that, and so pretty much they're trying to offset some of how bad the how like massive the tax cuts are for the rich. They're trying to like
Save money for that.
yeah, they're trying to offset that by like coming at the poor people so the rich people can keep their and increase the amount of taxes they get to keep.
Why does a tax credit cost money?
Because no, it's a tax cut, so like they get less in taxes from the rich people, like they get less like income for them.
So they're trying to spend less Medicaid, therefore they
Can
don't have to tax
yeah,
them.
yeah,
But then why is the debt increasing?
because the tax cuts are just that great for the rich and all the
So
other
they're
stuff.
going into the negatives, just giving them tax cuts?
Yeah. And in order to offset how deep into the negatives they're going, they're they're coming at Medicaid at the cost of an
So
estimated.
they're basically paying them.
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah, it's like the rich get richer, but like the poor die too.
So they're just the tax credit is basically like the government giving.
No, it's tax cuts. It's money that the rich would have to give to the government that they get to keep.
But if it's raising the debt, then
Yeah.
it's like them giving them money, basically. It's like basically them loaning them. I mean, I think my idea is like if the okay, so you're here, right?
Mhm.
The 100 billion gets cut from Medicaid,
Yeah.
and then you're doing tax cuts. So they're increasing because it's like, oh well, we don't want to give, we don't want to have to make the rich pay for whatever. They're increasing up. So they're like the 800 billion's back because it's like we don't want the rich to pay that 800 billion, so we'll eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it goes above that where
Yeah.
it's like, oh well, they could pay $1 trillion in taxes, but we're gonna eat that as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
But then that means that they're just basically paying them.
yeah. So look. So even these sharp spending cuts to Medicaid will pay for far less than half of the tax cuts that they're giving to the rich. It not even including the cost of maintaining the corporate income tax cuts of the 2017 law. So it's just shit on top of shit.
So our government can't pay for infrastructure; they just pay for
They're just
corporations.
yeah, pretty much. They're like oh corporate like they pretty much have people mass death before they even charge before they stop giving increasing tax cuts to the rich. They don't even want to hold a line in order to maintain. This is horrible.
I mean, it just sounds so just like a poor way to run a government.
Bro, it sounds like ass
Like why am I
backwards.
even paying taxes? My taxes are basically just giving money to corporations at that point.
Yeah, literally. It's like we're subsidizing their activity.
Yeah, dude,
by-
like what is this socialist ass country I'm already living in?
Yeah, exactly. No,
Well,
literally.
what the hell?
Literally.
I mean, it's just like the whole idea of property. It's just now it's like socializing private property.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. And it's like, how far are we gonna go?
Dude, this bill, yeah, everyone needs to vote no. Everyone in power that will probably vote yes because of their hands are like.
They just
Yeah.
cast their vote, like walk up to the thing. Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if a few of them had like forced lobotomies to like really
Or-
make sure their obedience
Or their families in a room somewhere with guns pointed at them.
right before they cast a vote. It's just like they're wrangling people up.
Yeah. They have an earpiece. It's like, you know what to do. Like, your wife and daughter.
You
right
have
here.
you have 2 minutes to cast a
Yeah.
yes, or
And then
your family's going to Cancun
and then
forever.
Yeah, literally forever. Cancun on 3. So according to their data, the researchers estimate that these 51,000 preventable deaths annually will include 11,300 deaths from the loss of Medicaid or Affordable Care Act marketplace coverage. And that's just scary. Like, so many people, like, when you don't have health care, like, that shit is frightening as all hell.
I mean, yeah, everything is overpriced. I mean, the reason it's overpriced is because of healthcare or because of health insurance.
Yeah, but I feel like and that's a more broad topic. But it's just like, if you were to eliminate like the whole like the healthcare industrial complex, like that's so many jobs. Like, where would all those jobs go? Like the insurance, like all that.
Mao Zedong them, bring them to the fields.
Yo, okay, so okay, in a statement on Monday, the White House said the idea that people will literally die due to Medicaid cuts is a hoax and a disgusting
course it
lie
is.
told by, get this, Democrats. So the bill would penalize states that use their own funds to expand Medicaid.
Everyone go read the bill. Every single citizen deserves to should read the bill.
Yeah, like I don't understand what the this is some extreme shit, you know? Okay, the White House claimed that Medicaid would be strengthened by removing 1.4 undocumented immigrants from the rolls. That coverage loss would also extend to documented children and pregnant women under the proposed policy, according to the Kaiser Family Foundation, a top policy think tank. Yo, this is an apocalyptic bill, man. I've never seen anything like this.
Dude, I just don't know what to think anymore.
It's like if someone I don't even have an analogy for this. It's like someone was like, all right, we're just gonna remove lights at all intersections just because
Yeah.
it's gonna save us money or something.
And this is another thing where it's like, I'm sure Democrats right now are like, all those people who voted independent, if they just voted for us. It's like, no, dude, you've had fucking 70 years to figure this shit out.
So I feel like it's quiet. I don't hear much talk. This is not a pressing issue because people are concerned about the protests and whatnot. This is not okay, so some Republicans have outright lied about the reconciliation bill, suggesting they are not pursuing Medicaid cuts when they are. Others are resorting to callous mockery when...
Not resorting to Medicaid? It's literally there.
It's written.
It's written. I mean, I have it word for word.
Yeah.
In my notes.
And it's not even marginal, negligible. This is sweeping, estimated to lead to 51,000 preventable deaths each year.
Yeah, people who need Medicare and may be very sick, and personal accountability for sick people is crazy.
Yeah.
Having a personal accountability to make people not eligible is just insane.
It's they're really going in it's they see the civilized systems in other first world countries, and they just turn around the other way and start sprinting as hard as they can.
That's just the devil, bro.
Yeah.
The socialism, anything that slightly resembles anything to give poor people for free or even of cost
Yeah.
is just seen with so much like vitriolic disdain. Like who is the why is there so much disdain for poor people? Like this system that politicians have built haven't like made them that way or
Yeah.
very like contributed quite a bit towards it.
This is what the quote says when it's like we can have socialism or barbarism, cause like, what is this, Brad? Like
Yeah.
this is unprecedented shit, man. And it's not even. It's like in the background. Like that's the thing. Like the American people can't keep up with all this like policy, like the minutia of bills and whatnot. It's not clearly outlined, and then the White House will say that people are lying when they try to like explain some of the projected like outcomes of this.
Yeah.
So people can't keep up. Like you would have thought this would be like you'd hear about it nonstop. Like
Yeah.
this is just one of the elements at play.
Yeah, the media cycle is also like super fast now.
Yeah.
It's like TikTok brain for
Yeah.
everything.
Cause we heard about Project 2025 a lot. I feel like, at least me personally, I'm not hearing much about like the bell should not stop.
Yeah,
ringing
like
about
Paul
this.
Revere. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure. I think as it gets closer and people kind of like see like more people talk about the bill and what's in the bill and how this is going to affect a lot of people's lives, or just the fact that everyone here, everyone who ever listens to this is going to be paying for socialist things. You're going to pay for socialist things for rich people. You're going to give people money so they get handouts when they make record profits. So they make more money than you, and they're also getting handed your money to, like, Trump wants your money to go. Trump and I'm sure because other Congress Republicans will vote yes, most likely. They're voting for a socialist program to take money out of your pocket and give it to already rich corporations. So, but I'm sure people who support this think corporations need a bunch of money or need their money because they probably can't like sustain it themselves. They probably like have bills to pay.
And they're gonna create more jobs.
They're gonna create so many more jobs.
Yeah, you'll have a job so in the bag you won't even need to worry about Medicaid. You won't need to bother.
Yeah, you won't need. Yeah, there's gonna be so many jobs. You're only gonna have like to apply for 300 jobs a month, and like you're gonna have to go through like and you'll probably only get a few of those interviews, and then the interview cycle will probably be 9 interviews, and you probably get one offer for $50,000 a year. But that's what we want.
Yeah, it's something.
Yeah, it's that's the jobs we create.
So, but here's the thing. So this bill is definitely gonna like. I feel like it's not even gonna come to pass because like I feel like it's gonna be scrapped. Like this is just their proposal. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like neutered, like to the point where it's only gonna like marginally make things worse, as opposed to like this apocalyptic scenario. But it's just like, why would you even bring some dumbass shit like this to the table? Like, like what are you doing with
the fact that they mentioned like gender affirming care like 3 different times to like make it a point that like. Yeah, we're not about that at all. It's like you could have said that in one sentence and we would have got the gist.
Yeah.
But you're really trying to drive home that like there's so much waste, and I don't even know if those things were ever covered by Medicare. But I'll have to look into that.
Medicaid.
But yeah, Medicaid. So like it just seems like they're trying to drive home like the agenda. Like the agenda is more important than saving money.
Yeah, or lives.
Yeah, well, like, yeah, lives. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole gender affirming care, I don't know. They got their panties in a bunch about that because it's like, yeah, the trans thing is a whole other issue.
Yeah, but you don't, like, people like, oh, like, we're paying for this. You people don't actually care about children. Stop pretending you care about children. You do not care about children. You care about your ideology that cares about children. Supposedly, you do not care about children. It's this whole thing with the ideology making you care about things you don't actually care about, and that's okay. You don't probably care about a lot of stuff. You're probably
Yeah.
very individualistic. You only care
Yeah.
about your own small group of people and Trump. You probably have a Trump statue that you pray to.
Yeah.
And it's
A
this weird
shrine.
fascist, like this fascist evangelical amalgamation that is making you think very poorly, and that's okay. And maybe I'm acting a little like a visceral reaction to like what's going on, but it definitely seems like there's like a point to be made at every
Yeah,
stop,
yeah.
where it's like it's no longer about like what works, it's about making a point, and then that like further makes things just
And the cruelty is the point with this
Yeah,
administration and this ideology, because like if you look at the ICE raids, it's like there seems to be like, yeah, like just cruelty is the platform, like cruelty for marginalized people. It's like it's just sadistic.
Yeah. And they're already probably jumping through hoops because of their income and having to pay bills, and then you want them to like jump through more hoops to access Medicaid. Like I don't like what is the point of that? Like you can't, you have obviously no problem, like the deficit was always historically like an issue among
Yeah.
Republicans supposedly. But now it's like you don't care when you're in office. I mean, Rand Paul and Elon Musk care, but it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
two people that actually like. And I'm not saying that they're like good people or anything, but like at least they stick to their guns and they have their own truth.
Yeah.
These other people don't have their own truth or don't have their own say and can't stand on what they believe in. Elon Musk wanted to do the Doge thing and wanted to reduce spending.
Yeah,
And he saw
actually.
this bill and he was like, "What the hell is this? This is dumb."
Yeah.
And at least I can respect that in some capacity. Or Rand Paul is like, "What are we doing here? I thought we're supposed to like
Yeah.
lower the deficit."
Like actual conservatives as opposed to
Yeah.
fascist sadists.
Yeah, I mean, those are actual conservatives with actual conservative viewpoints, fiscally conservative
Yeah,
viewpoints.
exactly.
Like those two people are very. It's odd that like
They're quite consistent on.
yeah,
they-
you should listen to the people who are consistent. You shouldn't listen to people who aren't consistent.
Yeah.
And if Elon Musk and Rand Paul are consistent people, it's kind of you need to rethink your platform.
Yeah, this bill, at the very least, it's just a huge waste of time, and it's just concerning and frightening to the people that do read it. And then whatever neutered form, I'm sure it's not gonna completely flip and become like they're not gonna nationalize healthcare in any capacity with this bill.
Yeah.
But it's probably like worst comes to worst, it keeps things the way they are, which is already quite horrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I bet like I'm not gonna look up what Trump has said about this bill, but I'm sure he's just said his vague bullshit like
Yeah.
it's beautiful, it's gonna be great, it's gonna help all of you, it's
Amazing.
gonna bring back jobs. So
This bill.
yeah,